Good morning. Can you all hear me? I guess you're all on mute, so I can't hear you. Okay, great. Good. Thank you,
We can hear you.
Good. Good. Good morning and welcome to Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lynchburg. We are glad you are here. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, whatever your gender identity, and whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on Monacan land. My name is Kim Sinna, and I've been with this congregation for 21 years. I'm a member of the Sunday Service Committee also. If you're with us for the first time, we are glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this congregation we love. If you would like to receive our monthly newsletter or Friday email updates, please fill out the virtual visitor card found on our website at uulynchburg.org under Sunday Services. Do we have any announcements? If we do, raise your hand or indicate in some way. I don't have any that were given to me.
We will be having the Star Trek episode and watch. It will still be at 2 p.m., but it will be on Zoom only. It will be the same link that you follow for the Sunday service.
Very good.
I don't think I'll be
Anybody else?
So.
All right, well, we've had plenty of time to greet one another, but if we want to do it again, we can just all make a wave. I'm trying to improvise here. All righty then. I invite us to release our worries about the world and our own lives as we enter into the service by taking some slow, calming breaths. And now let us join in the lighting of our chalice, the symbol of our shared faith, as we say our words together. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers
to heal
and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. And our opening words come from J. Hume in a poem called Like Gardening. There is nothing to do but continue. Place your hands in the grip of a stranger and guide them on. In the future, we will place life into this earth, place the goodness we have found here deep into the soil. With gentle hands, we will bring all that is lost back into the world. Green shoots uncoil from the darkness, and we will plant this dried root deep into the ground, treat it with respect, and see if it grows. Though the petals choose their own colors, let us tend them anyway and hope that they bloom. Now let us join together and sing hymn number 128, For All That Is Our Life.
128.
Is that the right one?
No, I have 34.
Yours
Miss.
is correct. I didn't go ahead. What is it? Hymn 30.
Hymn number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire.
Thank you, David. And now I'll turn it over to Courtney for Time for All Ages.
Our story this morning is called Something Someday, and it's by the poet Amanda Gorman. I chose this story because I really like how it represents how even the youngest among us can notice that there are things that are broken or need some assistance, and even little things that we do can help one another. So it invites us to ask, when we notice that things aren't right, how can we use resistance to have love and courage to help make a difference in the world?
Welcome to Learn Conmigo. Today we are going to read Something Someday by Amanda Gorman. You are told that this is not a problem, but you're sure there's something wrong. You are told that this cannot be fixed, but you know that you can help. You are told that this is too big for you, but you've seen the tiniest things make a huge difference. You're told that this won't work, but how will you know if you never try? You're told to sit and wait, but you know people have already waited too long. You're told that what's going on is very, very sad, but you're not just sad. You're scared and confused. You're angry. And maybe, just maybe, a little hopeful. You're told not to hope, but you keep hoping anyway. Sometimes you feel like you're all alone, but someday, somewhere, you find a friend, someone who will hope with you, who believes in your dream, someone who will fight with you. You make a promise to each other. You say, there's a problem, but it's our problem together, so we can fix it together. This problem is big, but together, we are bigger. You make another friend and tell them, it's okay to be sad. And they tell you, sometimes we'll lose, but that's all right. We'll try again. And so you do. Together, working. Together, beginning. Over and over and over and over. Until you're no longer beginning. You're winning. Suddenly, there's something you're sure is right. Something you know you helped fix. Something small that changed. Something big. Something that worked. Something that makes you feel hopeful, happy, and loved. Something that is not a dream, but the day you live in. Something that makes you smile as you tell someone else.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. Now time for our offering and gifts. Today we take an offering of our gifts for the work of this congregation, both in our building and in the larger world. The monetary support of our members and friends, along with the generous gifts of time and talent, make the work of our congregation. I invite you to use, well, we're not in the sanctuary, and if you're on Zoom, maybe donate on the website through Venmo or send a check to the church office. And so we take this offering of our gifts, generously offered and gratefully received. It is our tradition to share the joys. Let us join in some moment of silence, followed by my words of meditation. Let us take a breath together. We have spoken our joys and named our concerns, placing them gently into the shared space between us. Some are light, some are heavy, and all are held with care. In the quiet that follows, may we rest in the truth that none of us carries life alone. Across distance and screens, we are connected by compassion, by hope, by love. As we sit in the stillness, may what is tender be comforted, what is strong be grateful, and what is weary find rest. Blessed be. Thank you for that. And now I will turn it over to Jer Bryant, who we're very fortunate to have back so soon. He was here in November, and as always, it's good to hear his message. So, Jer, I leave it with you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Oh, wonderful. Thank you for having me back on this cold day. I'm currently watching some cardinals play outside the window, so that is giving me some hope. Okay, let us begin. I'm not going to bake that cake. It's against my religion. I don't want my child learning about gay people. It's against my religion. I don't want those books in my city's library. They're against my religion. Just once, I'd like to hear more of, I don't want people being deported. It's against my religion. Or, I don't want gay kids being targeted by oppressive politicians. It's against my religion. Bear with me, because lately I've been wondering which Bible folks wearing flashy gold crosses standing behind podiums have been reading. Am I missing something? In Andrew Springer's 2025 article, Why MAGA is So Triggered by the Words of Jesus, Springer says, quote, in his very first sermon, Jesus made clear where he stood with the poor, the oppressed, and those crushed by economic exploitation. Quoting the Hebrew prophet Isaiah, Jesus announced that he came to proclaim good news to the poor, to set the oppressed free. Luke 4:18. Springer goes on to say, quote, Jesus was talking about real liberation from very real systems of oppression. And that's exactly what terrifies and triggers the MAGA faithful about the actual words of Jesus, end quote. Sadly, I do not hear people behind podiums talk about freeing the oppressed, the marginalized, the most vulnerable. Rather, I hear dangerous rhetoric about trans people and immigrants and people who need governmental assistance to survive. I hear nothing of bringing heaven to earth and so much about forming hellish divisions. All the while, there's a nice dress, a shiny cross, and the occasional proclamation of, I love Christians. What has happened to Matthew 25:35 through 40? For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. What happened to Matthew 33:39? Love thy neighbor as yourself. If this is not teaching grounded in interbeing, I don't know what is. These statements by Jesus, words asking us to care for others, are exactly why I personally see him as an enlightened teacher. I will go as far as to say, like the Guru Maharaji, I see Jesus as a manifestation of divine love. To me, he's the same frequency of Lord Krishna, of Buddha. And since I see him this way, I cannot imagine him being okay with the chaos being done in his name. Maybe we don't talk about Jesus's words as a gospel of interbeing, but I would challenge you to consider them so. I cannot help but see this message undulate in the teachings of Jesus. What do we mean when we say interbeing? Sister Chan Kong, who's often referred to as Sister True Emptiness, is the first fully ordained monastic disciple of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, and she has served as Plum Village's director of humanitarian projects since the 1960s. On interbeing, Sister True Emptiness has said, quote, interbeing is like the flower that cannot be herself without the sunshine, without the rain, without the caring of the gardener, and without so many conditions. So normally we must set up interbeing or co-being. We must coexist. We cannot exist by ourselves, end quote. We need one another. Today, we may help someone. Tomorrow, we may need help ourselves. What I love about Sister True Emptiness and Thich Nhat Hanh is their use of nature to demonstrate this truth. Flowers need rain, they need sunlight, they need soil, and they often need someone to tend to them. Are we not also a part of nature? Are we not also flowers? Do we not also need many conditions to flourish? We could all take a moment to contemplate the people, circumstances, and overall support that we have been given at critical times in our own lives, times when we could not have survived without such care. Once, in my mid-20s, I faced a strange illness that I thought would kill me. If it were not for meditation, the sounds of Sinead O'Connor, incense, and the ability to eventually, after years of suffering, visit a really good specialist, I don't know if I would be here. These were the conditions that I needed. Yet, what if I had been shut off from these conditions due to a number of factors, like where I was born, for example? Perhaps what Jesus and Sister True Emptiness and all the other great spiritual masters who have preached interbeing are saying is that we're so deeply connected to one another that failure to see ourselves in the other is one of our greatest downfalls. We must see the suffering of others as our own suffering. And we must see policies that embrace separateness as not only hostile, but also toxic. The ACLU report entitled Tearing Apart Immigrant Families, Communities, and the Fabric of Our Nation reads, quote, chillingly, the cruelty, overt racism, and deeply damaging policies of the Trump administration from 2017 to 2021 reportedly could have been even worse, because many officials refused to implement some of Trump's most extreme plans, such as suggestions to electrify a border wall and add spikes on top that could pierce human flesh, and a water trench stocked with snakes and alligators, end quote. The report goes on to say, quote, we don't know if those pronouncements were real threats or mere saber rattling, but Trump reportedly also suggested to aides that officials should shoot migrants in the legs, end quote. Yet during an open White House Easter egg roll, Trump proclaimed, quote, we're honoring Jesus Christ. We're bringing religion back in America, end quote. Does any of this sound like honoring Jesus? I don't mean to bring back those bracelets from my youth just because they were a bit scratchy, but WWJD. I understand Jesus's core teachings were grounded in many Jewish values like Leviticus 19:18. Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. Personally, I feel like so many headlines about our nation reflect revenge, grudges, and oppression. So forgive me if I cannot see an endorsement by Jesus. The gospel of interbeing is radical. Some may even say it's dangerous. It's much easier to say, this is my land, or this is my right to health care, or this is my right to in-state tuition, than it is to share. It's much easier to think of ourselves as separate beings, some who are more highly favored or blessed than others. Unquestionably, it's easy to ignore that old saying, sharing is caring. But we are called to look at the suffering of others as God's suffering, or as our own suffering. We are called to see the migrant mother struggling to give her baby a better life as our own mother, that baby as our own baby. We are called to see the unhoused as our very own selves. This is the hard work. This is the spiritual work before us all. Any rhetoric that tells us otherwise should be closely examined. I find Kelly Lattimore's artwork to be emotional. Lattimore began painting icons in 2010 when he was a member of the Common Friars. His spirituality and deep connection to Jesus can be felt in each of his creations. La Sagrada Familia captures three figures, a young father and mother and their toddler traveling for a better life. Each figure is haloed. They are immigrants and they are the sacred family. The spark of God is fully within them, within all of creation. Homeless Christ depicts an unhoused man sitting on the streets with a styrofoam cup and a handwritten cardboard sign that reads, "Homeless, anything helps." The man sits with his palms together and the Christ halo blooms over his head. Lattimore reminds us that each of these figures, the members of the immigrant family and the gentle unhoused man, are Christ. Each reflects the face of God. When we look away from them, perhaps we are looking away from all that is sacred. Sometimes late at night, I put my palms together and stand before a statue of Blessed Teresa of Calcutta, who we often call Mother Teresa. In my heart, I ask, let me not look away from the suffering of others. And Con Franz's 2023 article, The Eightfold Path, Right View, which appears in Lion's Roar, Franz discusses the Buddhist tenet of right view, saying, quote, "Right view is that moment of discovery, of staying where we are and opening our eyes when everything in our body is saying to keep them shut," end quote. We find ourselves in an era in which to close our eyes will not only add to the suffering of ourselves, but the suffering of others. And I'm reminded that Jesus never looked away. He never looked away from the suffering of others, and he sure as hell didn't look away just because they were different in some way or another. Jesus hung out with what some may unkindly call the outcasts, the very sick, women who people ostracized, people whose religion differed from his own, people who despised his own religion, and yes, even the tax collectors. He never looked away or refused to engage or assist someone just because they were not like him. Jesus lived the gospel of interbeing. How then can we look away from the suffering of the world, especially when it is caused by our leaders' edicts? A few weeks ago, I saw a social media clip from RTE, Ireland's national television and radio broadcaster. The clip featured citizens of Greenland expressing their fear related to the United States' threats to take their land. And an older woman confesses she cannot sleep. She's scared. And at that moment, I wanted to cry because she is the face of Jesus. And our country risks the face of a bully, a hungry ghost. So how do we find inspiration in Jesus's message of interbeing? How do we resist? Wendy Fitting, in her article, Peasant Revolutionary, appearing in UU World in November of 2009, states, quote, "He is risen indeed, not to a sedentary throne in heaven, but into my life, and everywhere that evil is persistently resisted, and everywhere that a revolution for goodness is thoughtfully engaged," end quote. Yes, we can resist by voting for candidates who believe in caring for the most vulnerable. We can attend protest. We can use social media to advocate for justice, equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. But we can also speak up in our day-to-day interactions with others. We might not flip tables, but we can certainly say, my faith demands something different. We can say, I do not agree. We can work on not being complicit. Retired Unitarian Universalist minister Mark Harris reminds us that, quote, Jesus was not a Unitarian, but rather a poor, marginal Jew who was pursued by a maniac king. But maybe we Unitarian Universalists can still claim his relevant vision. He's riding the bus and shouting out his saving words for the person others would fail to speak up for, end quote. Friends, let us be on that bus, shouting for all of those who others have failed to speak up for. Let us shout for the queer kids, the women struggling for autonomy over their bodies, the hungry, the unhoused, the souls traveling to this country for a better life. Let us shout out for the sick who cannot afford health care. Let us shout out for the elderly who've been abandoned. Let us shout out for all of those affected by cruel, divisive, and greedy policies that harm instead of heal. Somehow American politicians referencing Jesus and sporting crosses have drawn Jesus in a new way. He is not like Kelly Lattimore's depictions. Rather, he is white and hungry for domination. But this is not Jesus. We all know. Even those who see Jesus as a teacher instead of a divine manifestation know that this is not Jesus. This is not Jesus the gatherer, the manifestation of compassion and love. Jesus the healer. Jesus the advocate, the friend. Jesus the one who never looked away. When Maharaji was asked how Jesus meditated, he responded, "He was lost in love. He was one with all beings. He never died. He is Atman, the eternal self, living in the hearts of all." So, friends, the most vulnerable are Christ consciousness and skin. Let us adore them and turn away from the voices that oppress them. I'll leave you with an excerpt from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5, 1 through 10. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. May it be so.
That was excellent, Jer. Thank you so much. And I long for a dominant Christianity that's based on the Beatitudes rather than nationalism and power. All right, then let's join together in the singing of hymn 287, Faith of the Larger Liberty. As our service draws to a close, we extinguish the flame of our chalice as we say these words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now for some closing words. As we leave this shared hour, the world beyond our windows is wrapped in snow and cold. Roads are closed, plans are paused, and still here we are, gathered across distance, warmed not by weather, but by care, attention, and choice. As you return to your day, may you move gently and stay safe, and may you remember that even in deep winter, community shelters us and love does not freeze. Go in peace until we are together again. Blessed be. David, do we have a postlude?
Yes, we do. We do.
Why am I not hearing it?
Well, feel free to stick around and socialize. Sorry I can't offer you coffee and snacks. You'll have to do those on your own. Stay
brought
warm,
my own.
everybody, and safe.
Bring your own coffee.
Yep.
That's
There you
wrong.
go.
What's wrong today?